gravitational sensors are going crazy here. You should see this. It looks like a lightning storm.
What you've sent us doesn't seem possible.
Yes, ma'am, I understand. That's why we sent it.
The next Stellaris DLC is going to be Stellaris Cosmic Storms. Since the release of the Season 8 Stellaris Pass, we have known this DLC is coming. But now we have a firm release date, September the 10th, 2024. On top of that, we've had a great trailer that has given us a preview on quite a few of the new features coming. We've got new Civics, a new Origin, new mechanics for the entire galaxy, events, anomalies, precursor narratives, 2 new relics, and a whole host of storm-related technologies. Let's dive in and find out what is going on. Dark clouds are gathering over the galaxy. For some time, the developers have been unsatisfied with the space storm that currently exists in Stellaris. During the mid-game, you can get a mid-game crisis, I suppose, which is the space storms that affect the whole galaxy, and they generally give some various debuffs in some systems. Reductions to sublight speed, sometimes your shields are knocked out, that sort of thing. Cosmic Storms has given the devs the opportunity to revamp the system entirely, providing a deeper experience with strategically meaningful gameplay and beautiful upgraded visuals. With this expansion, there are going to be 8 new storms with a variety of positive and negative effects that will move across the galaxy. They've also added a new weather map mode for forecasting these storms and predicting their motion, with technologies and buildings that can attract, repel, or with an Ascension perk, even create storms. So there we go. We already know that the new Ascension perk coming with this DLC will allow us to create storms on the fly. They've also shown us what some of these effects are going to be. Let's take a look at that. From these images that we've had a preview of in the trailer, we can see there are at least 6 different types of storm. From left to right, then top to bottom, we've got electric, particle, celestial, magnetic, solar, and finally gravity. Where previously storms only affected our fleets and our ships flying around in space, and even then it was a very small effect, we're now going to get not just ship modifiers, but also planetary modifiers. The storms are going to have a big impact on your planets and quite likely your economy as well. Taking a look here at the Cosmic Storm, this is going to increase your technician output by 50% while the storm is in the region, but you'll get a massive minus 200% to farmer output. Now, I am assuming that, like anything in the game, these reductions will be capped at a maximum of minus 90% of your base value. So at worst here, you're going to be getting an output of 10% of the normal farmer output before we applied any other bonuses. Farmers suck. If there's a cosmic storm in effect, they suck even more. This type of effect, completely nullifying the output of one basic resource job type, seems to be repeated across the board for almost all of these storms. We've got minus 200% to miners and strategic resource gatherers, minus 200% to technicians, minus 200% to alloys. That magnetic storm looks utterly devastating if you're fighting in a war and you need alloys for your ships. And I assume there are going to be even more reductions, possibly something for science, something for unity, that sort of thing. That could make space weather utterly economically devastating to any nation, which makes it possibly one of the biggest overlay effects we've ever seen that's going to disrupt the normal flow of gameplay. We've got lots of ship modifiers here. Sometimes we're still getting sublight reduction speed. We're also seeing things like a 70% shield nullification, increases to emergency FTL damage, a reduction to your armor hit point, so these storms are not just going to affect shields and ship speed anymore, they are going to be hurting armor, and they will make it more difficult to disengage. Now, there's also an aftermath effect that each of these images we have had a preview of will give to us. The aftermath of a particle storm, for example, seems to be reducing our food output in the future, but granting us lots and lots of valuable substances. I'm going to read exotic resources there, but maybe I'm wrong. There are quite a few changes that are going to be coming in with these new storms and this new system. Mainly, I think I'm scared about the economic changes that could massively devastate an empire that is completely unprepared to deal with the space weather. What do you think about these new effects that they're going to be adding into Space Storms? I would love to hear your opinion. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you're enjoying this video, please batten down the hatches of that like button. Now let's take a look at the brand new origin we're going to get with Cosmic Storms. Of course, this origin is heavily storm focused. It is the Storm Chaser origin. You'll get the special Storm Rider leader trait, I believe. Now, we don't know exactly what that does yet, but I think we can all speculate it will give some bonuses or buffs while a storm is ongoing. If that leader is a governor, or if they're on a fleet or in a science ship, they'll get some bonuses or buffs if they're in a storm. You'll get an extra 20% unity from jobs, meaning completing your tradition trees will be a little bit easier. The chance of a cosmic storm appearing inside your borders goes up by plus 100%, so you're going to get twice as many storms appearing. The chance of receiving cosmic storm technology research options goes up by 175%, so you'll get more options to control either by attracting or repelling these storms later on into the game, and also by predicting them. Of course, some of these cosmic storm technology research options are also going to be prediction based, improving your ability to work out where a storm is going and how long it's going to be in a certain place. You'll start out with the Astrometeorological Prediction technology and the Cosmic Weather Models technology. I believe that's the tier 1 and 2 technologies for weather prediction of these space storms, and so right at the start of the game, you'll be able to know quite a bit more than other empires about where storms are going to arrive, and then where are they going to go next. Given the economic impacts we've just seen from some of these storms, almost all of them have a massive negative effect on one type of resource production, it seems, or at least over half of the images we've seen so far. It might not be such a great thing to get all of these cosmic storms appearing in your space. Perhaps if the Storm Rider leader trait or some of the other technologies you'll get access to reduce those negatives, it will be less of an issue. But overall, this could be quite an RNG-based origin in terms of whether or not it's any good. There are 3 new civics coming, all entirely focused on harnessing the power of these storms. We already know about 2 of them. We have the full details pretty much on Astrometeorology and on Storm Devotion. Storm Devotion in particular sounds like it would pair quite nicely with the new origin. This allows you to build the Storm Summoning Theater building, which provides Storm Dancer jobs and some Storm attraction. Storm Dancers will turn consumer goods into unity and amenities. We don't know the exact output of that yet, but I'm assuming it's basically a bit like an entertainer. Your species will also get the Storm Touched trait. Now, this trait is actually really, really good. Storm Touched gives you plus 10% resources from jobs base, so even if you don't use the rest of this, a flat 10% resources from jobs for your entire species from the start of the game seems very, very strong. You'll also get an amenities usage reduction during a cosmic storm of minus 10%. That, of course, should stack with other amenities reducing options like the Dictator leader role, allowing us to push down amenities usage to record lows. There is a new council position coming with this as well, the Grand Herald of the Storm. This has, per skill level, the following effects. Minus 5% storm building upkeep. I think that's not just the Storm Summoning Theater, but I suspect it is also going to be lots of these new storm buildings we'll get through technology for attracting, repelling, and predicting storms. You'll get the chance of receiving Cosmic Storm technology research options going up by 5% per level, and you'll reduce Cosmic Storm related building upkeep by 5% per level. So at the max here, you're looking at somewhere between minus 50 / plus 50, and maybe you can get up to level 15 or so with effective level, maybe minus 75. Minus 75% building upkeep is nice, but I think overall this is probably going to be a B, low C tier counselor position, though it really does depend on how devastating these storms are and whether or not our Cosmic Storm technology can mitigate the worst effects of them. The second of the 3 new civics that we know about is Astrometeorology. This allows you to build a special building which provides astrometeorologist jobs. They turn consumer goods into research points of the 3 types. We don't know the exact output, but I suspect it's probably slightly less in 2 of those categories than a regular scientist and slightly more in a 3rd. Your job output will be increased when an environmental effect is present in the system with the Astrometeorologist lab. This kind of means, I think, you've got a way of mitigating the effects of storms because yes, you might get that minus 200%, but if you're getting lots of extra bonuses to job output when a storm is present, maybe it makes it all right. We will have to see where the numbers balance out on this. You'll get the Prime Forecaster Council position, giving you plus 2% Astrometeorologist output per skill level. This is quite a low increase in output, leading me to assume that actually the astrometeorologists are maybe producing quite a lot of research. Overall, this Civic really does depend on exactly how important these storms end up being in our games going forwards, though given how much work has probably gone into this DLC, I suspect quite a lot. Astrometeorologist will be available to all 4 authority types, that is your regular normie empires, your hive minds, your megacorps, and your machine intelligences, but Storm Devotion will not be available to non-biological empires, though I suppose maybe machine empires can take it as long as they're not a hive mind machine authority, but an individualist machine. The final Civic looks like it's got something to do with growing or planting. We don't know what that is yet, but it will be available to all 4 authority types. If you've got any ideas what that symbol means, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. Wrong answers only, please. At the start of this video, I mentioned that we're going to be getting 2 brand new relics. And that is because we're getting 2 new precursor event chains, which I believe means 2 brand new precursors, each offering a glimpse into the ancient history of the Stellaris universe. Red King is going to have a field day. These chains will weave tales of civilizations long lost to the cosmic winds, with untold secrets buried beneath the stars. I can only assume that the cosmic storms destroyed those civilizations, like they might do ours if we're not careful. Alongside this, there are going to be new events, anomalies, and archaeology sites coming, so I suppose this in some ways is a mechanical origin, but there is a lot of story coming here as well. If you've already decided to pick up the Season 8 expansion pass because you just couldn't wait, then of course you're not going to have to pay for this DLC. For everyone else, the pricing looks to be $13 or 13 euros, which is just over half the price of Machine Age, but given how absolutely massive and content-filled Machine Age was, I can't imagine we're going to get even half as much content in this DLC. That is of course only speculation though, so please don't take that to the bank. We've also been given a preview of one of the new Galactic community resolutions that will be added with this DLC, the Storm Surveying Initiative. This will affect your farmers, miners, and technicians, and they'll get output from cosmic storm resistant production buildings plus 10%. That leads me to believe we're going to be getting technologies or possibly buildings that increase your cosmic storm resistance, which should allow us to not be at the mercy of that disturbing minus 200% output debuff. We'll also get +1 unity from each system affected by cosmic storms and an increased chance of researching cosmic storm technology. I don't know if this is the first level in the chain for this particular Galactic Community resolution. I suspect it's level 2, but it could also be level 1. This would mean there are even greater benefits to be had if the community gets on board with surveying the storms and actually does something rather than waffling on like idiots discussing whether the Tianki should be hunted or not. Over the next few weeks, the developers are going to tell us more and more about this new DLC. We're going to find out all about the storms and their aftermaths, the special effects that will be left behind in systems that the storm has passed through. We'll also find out even more about the Storm Chaser origin, the Civics, and the 2 new precursors. And finally, we'll get some lovely patch notes before this DL comes out on the 10th of September, which at present is only 3.5 weeks away.